Good morning, viewers, and welcome to this week's presentation of our legal series on the Buyers Alert platform. If you have visited any court in any nation in Nigeria, you will be surprised to notice that the courts have remained shut down. This is as a result of the strike action embarked upon by the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, also known as Jusun, to press home the demand for financial autonomy of the judiciary. Now, this strike action has led to a fundamental question. Is Jusun right or justifiable in carrying out the strike action? Secondly, what is the implication of the strike action to the attainment of access to justice, especially to the vulnerable? This is what we shall be discussing today. I therefore urge you all to sit back and follow along as we now develop the topic. I will be your anchor person, and my name is Victor Ebo Esquire. Welcome all. Today makes it precisely 23 days that the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, hereinafter referred to as Jusun, embarked on a nationwide strike that have led to a total shutdown of all the courts in Nigeria to press home the demand for financial autonomy of the judiciary. The question is, what does that even mean? Financial autonomy of the judiciary. This is how the Nigerian justice system operates. Nigeria basically has three arms of government: the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. Now, every month, money is disbursed from the consolidated revenue through federal allocation, and these monies are sent directly to the legislature. The money is sent directly to the executive, but when it comes to the judiciary, that is where the problem comes. Now, when these monies are disposed or disbursed, these monies are sent to the state government, which invariably represents the executive. It is the governors that now determines how these monies are distributed or implemented. As a result, many of the judiciary staff go for several months without receiving salaries and other entitlements that are due to them. Now, to put enough or a stop to this impunity, the Judiciary Staff Union came together to demand the respect of their constitutional right, which is financial autonomy. What does the Constitution have to say about that? We should allow the Constitution to answer that question. The express provision of the Constitution, precisely in Section 121, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it says, and I quote, "Any amount standing to the credit of the judiciary in the Consolidated Revenue Fund for the state shall be paid directly to the heads of the courts concerned." The Constitution says the money should be paid directly to the heads of the courts concerned. The words of the Constitution are clear and unambiguous, that monies due to the judiciary should be paid directly to the judiciary. But that has not been the practice in Nigeria. For these monies are paid to the executive, where the governor determines who gets what, how, and when. As a result of the hardship that this has occasioned on judiciary staff, Jusun, or the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, came together to enforce their constitutional rights. What do? First and foremost, precisely on the 13th day of March 2020, they issued a 21-day ultimatum to the government that where the government fails to comply with the constitutional directive for financial autonomy of the judiciary, that Jusun will embark on a nationwide strike. What happened? It was casted aside. Thus, at the end of the 21-day ultimatum, precisely on the 6th day of April 2021, Jusun gave directive to all judiciary staff nationwide to cease all activities and shut down all the courts in Nigeria. And that is why today, if you pay a visit to any court, you'll be greeted with silence and loneliness, contrary to the beehive of activities that the courts are known for. Now, what has been the effect? What has been the consequence of this action that has been taken by Jusun? This strike action has not only affected the citizens alone, but it also has an effect on legal practitioners, especially for litigation lawyers whose daily bread is sustained by appearances at the court on a daily basis. A shutdown of the court simply means taking away their source of livelihood for litigation lawyers. Secondly, we have citizens who go in and out of the court on a daily basis to get court processes like affidavits, those who need to register their wills at the probate division, those who need to get their wills out from the probate division. All that is halted as a result of the industrial strike. In addition, we have people who have committed minor offenses who ordinarily would have been taken to court and the judge or magistrate would have given them bail because of the minor offense they have committed. But right now, because of the shutdown of the courts, these people are left with no choice but to be abandoned at the correctional facilities or detention centers until further notice. Sadly, many of these persons are persons who are living with the HIV virus, who need daily supply of ARVs to sustain their immune system. Now, with the court shut down and no access to bail, these persons are left at detention centers where there is little or no likelihood of a supply of their daily supplements. This is indeed very detrimental to the health of these ones. Now, as a result of this dire situation that the country has been plunged into, many human rights bodies, many rights organizations have come together to say no and put an end to this impunity. And one of such bodies is the Nigerian Bar Association. Precisely on the 8th and 12th of April, respectively, the Nigerian Bar Association made an attempt to bring together the authorities of the Judiciary South Union and stakeholders to see how they can put an end to this industrial action. But regrettably, both meetings met a deadlock. Now, as a final straw that broke the camel's back was the meeting scheduled for the 19th of April, for the 14th of April, which was supposed to be a meeting between the authorities of the Nigerian Bar Association and the Governors Forum of Nigeria, which also regrettably met a deadlock because the Governors Forum failed to appear for the meeting. The NBA had to take a decisive action to put an end to this impunity. And thus, precisely on the 19th day of April, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association gave a directive to all the chairmen of the NBAs at several states of Nigeria to embark on a peaceful protest to the governors of all their states at the government houses to demand for a respect of the constitutional provision to ensure that there is financial autonomy for the judiciary. This protest was to commence on the 19th of April and every other subsequent Mondays to ensure that the governors comply with the constitutional provisions. We at Lawyers Alert lend our voice in support of Jusun to ensure that the governors respect the constitutional provision to ensure a financial autonomy of the judiciary. Nigeria is not a lawless country, and thus there should be no room for impunity in our body politic. So where are we as a nation? Jusun had asked for what is their constitutional right. The Constitution makes an express provision in section 121 subsection 3. What happened? It was casted aside. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria came up with an executive order known as Executive Order 10 of 2020, which also directed for the financial autonomy of the judiciary. Still, it was not respected. In 2014, there is a direct provision of a court decision, a court pronouncement that the judiciary is entitled to financial autonomy. What happened? It was casted aside. For how long are we going to fold our arms and watch some cabals plunge our nation into anarchy? We say no to impunity. What is the way forward? We say it's as simple as ABC. Every month, monies are disbursed from the consolidated fund through federal allocation that is done through the Office of the Accountant General. The way forward is very simple. When allocations are done monthly through the Office of the Accountant General, monies that are entitled to the judiciary should be paid to the National Judicial Council for onward transmission to the heads of courts, who determines how these monies are dispersed to the judiciary as the case may be. Instead of the usual practice of monies being paid to the governors, monies that are entitled for the judiciary being paid to the executive. And the executive now determines what happens to the monies for the judiciary. And it results in hardship, in pains for members of the judiciary. We say no to such impunity. Nigeria is not a lawless country. The words of the Constitution are clear and unambiguous, and the Constitution expressly states, if there is any other directive by way of implication that is inconsistent with the express provision of the Constitution, that directive will, to the extent of its inconsistency, be null and void and of no consequence. So that action of paying monies entitled to the judiciary to the executive should cease henceforth, so that sanity can be restored in our body policy. We have finally come to the end of our deliberation for this day, and we hope that you have benefited immensely. If you have, be sure to join us next week as we come up with another burning topic that affects our body policy. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I have been your anchor person. My name, Victor Ebo Esquire, signing out.